नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिसतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. निताई गौर सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय गुरु महाराज की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम ज्ञान तिमिरांधस्य ज्ञानांजन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। मुगं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्री गुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्यमीश्वरम्। हरि ओम तत्सत्। हरे कृष्णा। Welcome to this session on Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. Today we will cover chapter 2, the basic summary, and certain slokas, at least till where Krishna speaks. So Krishna starts speaking in this chapter. So it's very transcendental. And today is a holy day of Shankaranti. So the sun, we are going into Uttarayana. Uttarayana means the calendar changes from the sun traveling in south to north. So this is a very considered very auspicious day today. So marking this day, we can start the chapter 2. We can complete the assignments of chapter 1 in between whenever required. Okay. Keep things in mind, and today's discussion, we can surely need to have it. Maybe we'll see when we appropriately will have it. Okay. Now, chapter 2 summary. This chapter is very, very important. Because this chapter is named by Vyasadeva and also Srila Prabhupada is translating it into contents of the Gita summarized. This is the chapter name given by Srila Prabhupada. So think that how important it is. Many people bogusly say something as the summary of Gita. But even if you want summary of Gita, better go into this chapter. It has very, very analytical study, very nice Sankhya Yoga philosophy is being described in this. Okay, so let us see how this chapter is. Already we saw that Arjuna was in confusion and he didn't want to fight, and he gave many reasons for not fighting. Exactly in the middle of both the armies, Krishna has parked the chariot according to the order of Arjuna. So, or order or request of Arjuna. So that is the scenario. Now, in chapter 2, now what is going to happen? So to this, see the summary, basically, Arjuna first, he is refusing, okay? So he'll continue little slokas, I think 5 or 6 slokas. Again, Arjuna will continue saying that I don't want to fight. He is very disturbed. And it's a life or death situation. So we are not there, so we don't understand. But in our life also, there is so much confusions. So this is the worst case. Either he has to die or he has to kill his relatives. That's all. No other option. Turning away from the war field is the only option. I want to run away from here. I don't even want to face this. I don't want this. So this is the third. So the third option is out of this thing for a Kshatriya. Not only for a Kshatriya, it has already happened. All his 5 brothers are there and everybody is there. They are ready. Both the parties are ready for fighting. Only Arjuna is confused, and he is now talking to Krishna. So Arjuna refusing to fight, and then further, because he's so confused, he just takes shelter of Krishna. He surrenders to Krishna. Till now, he was talking as a friend and a cousin. We already saw Krishna and Arjuna are related as cousins. Arjuna's mother Kunti is the sister of Krishna's father Vasudeva. So Vasudeva and Kunti are brother and sister. So they both are cousins also. At the same time, they are friends also. So till now he was talking in a friendly manner, but that now at this particular point of time, the friendly manner will not work anymore because he's totally drained out. So he's taking full shelter of Krishna and he's telling that Krishna, you tell me what to do. I don't know. Hmm? So what is good for me, what is not good for me, I don't know. Hmm? So I take shelter of you, I surrender unto you. I become your Sishya. He's declaring himself to be a disciple. Till then, Krishna has been just friendly talks. So this is essential where we saw the surrender of a person to the spiritual master is essential. A casual questioning, okay, I won't take initiation, but still I will just find out about Krishna consciousness. You're not going to go anywhere. Just going to stay there. But the commitment, the basic initial step, initiation means the beginning step. It's not the final. Some people who don't have, they practice Krishna consciousness for a long time and they don't take initiation. For them, initiation looks like termination. No, the word, English word, initiation itself means starting or beginning. So one has to begin to submit oneself as a student. So if you want to take an education, you have to register into the institution, educational institution. You have to go and get the application form. You have to fill it and submit it. Unless you do it, how can you claim yourself to be the student of that school? So you're not student unless you submit yourself. So that is the one which Arjuna does. He is surrendering to Krishna. From that time onwards, first Krishna, a very friendly way, but he chastises Arjuna. And after that, he is explaining to Arjuna the secret, the wonderful, not secret, it's the science of soul, which is called Sankhya Yoga. Kapila Dev calls it Sankhya Yoga, the differentiation between matter and spirit. So already as we saw in Ishopanishad and introduction to Bhagavad Gita, there are Tatastha Shakti, there is Bhagiranga Shakti, Antaranga Shakti. Like we saw that the material is different and the living entity is different. The matter is different, the living entity is different, internal energy is different. So in this way, the discrimination is very, very essential. But right now, we are in this world where our perception is totally different from our originality. So when a person is in the jail and he has totally forgotten what is happening in the world, explaining him about the happenings of the world can be done to an extent, not much, unless this person is taught how to get out of the jail. So there are two things. So what is the nitty-gritties of the jail, rules and regulation of the jail, that has to be told to him so that he easily gets out. So Krishna first gives the science of soul to Arjuna. This is the first lesson Krishna gives to Arjuna. And that is very essential lesson for all of us. So Prabhupada said that this is ABC of Krishna consciousness. And if you make mistake in learning ABC properly, then every other learning will be wrong. So that is the primary aspect of this chapter. Maybe half of the chapter is filled with this. And then Krishna advises initially Arjuna to perform prescribed duty. That's the first suggestion Krishna gives. And Krishna reveals Arjuna a secret called Buddhi Yoga. That is nothing but Krishna consciousness. He doesn't initially, already Arjuna is a bhakta. Already Arjuna is a friend of Krishna. That's in a Sakhya Bhava. And Krishna and Arjuna meet face to face, Supreme Lord. So that means he's situated. But to perform, such a pure devotee, to perform in the material world, there is an art. There is an art there, which is called Bhakti Yoga, the Buddhi Yoga. So gradually, Krishna is revealing this Buddhi Yoga, or Prabhupada calls it as Yukta Vairagya. So that principle he gradually unveils to Arjuna. And then Arjuna asks how a person, he is transcendental personality, but within this material world, if a transcendental person comes, how will he behave? Or in the material world, one person has practiced Krishna consciousness nicely and become transcendental. What will be his behavior, his walking, his talking? how he will be behaving. This is the basic chapter 2 summary. So, chapter 2, contents of Gita summarized, 10 slokas. First 10, 1 to 10 sloka, Arjuna refuses to fight and surrenders to Krishna. I think today Shankaranti will read this portion. The sloka portion we will skip for later because I just want you to get into the subject. And 11 to 30, Krishna explains Arjuna the science of soul, Sankhya Yoga. 31 to 38, Krishna advises Arjuna to perform his prescribed duty as a Kshatriya. And 39 to 53, Krishna reveals Arjuna the secret of Buddhi Yoga. So then 54 to 72, it's quite big chapter. Only two chapters are big, very big, if you see, this chapter and the last chapter. Otherwise, they are all reasonably sized with some questions and answers of Arjuna. As of now, Arjuna has not asked any questions, but at the end of this chapter, here only he is surrendering and he is asking, what is best for me to do? That's a general question he's asking. But specific question starts from this 54 to 72, where Arjuna asks how a Buddhi Yoga person will behave. And Krishna starts answering that. He's answering that. Sthita Prajna, like that. So there is a yoga which is introduced, which is called Buddhi Yoga. So we will be seeing it throughout Bhagavad Gita, but Krishna starts revealing it, especially the exact definition of Buddhi Yoga and the clear description of what is Buddhi Yoga in an architectural way comes in the third chapter and then continues in the fourth chapter amazingly. And further till the end of Bhagavad Gita, it continues. It's a very, very special way of dealing with the world. Being a devotee and dealing with the world is an art. And that is being started to be told by Krishna to Arjuna, which Prabhupada calls it Buddhi Yoga. So this is the content of second chapter. So this Buddhi Yoga will be very useful for us also. Okay, having said, now we will do a continuous reading of this 10 slokas. And then we can have the explanation anytime we want. Because it's Shankranti, I would like to go in for where Krishna says that Krishna starts speaking. Okay. So I'll read the translation. Somebody unmute and immediately start reading the purport. Okay. So I think we can finish 10 slokas. There won't be an issue. So 11th verse is where Krishna starts speaking. And 10th verse, sorry. Okay, till 11th verse. Okay, let's go for this marathon. Bhagavad Gita. Okay, I think we can have this also. Okay, Sanjaya Uvacha. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, text 1. Okay, I'll just read quickly the text, the sloka and translation. You read the purport. Sanjay Uvaच तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम् अश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणं विसीदन्तम् idam vakyam uvacha Madhusudana. Translation, Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words. Read the purport.
Material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self realization. The word Madhusudana is significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken him in the discharge of his duty. No one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for a dress, Compassion for the dress of a growing man is senseless. A man fallen in the ocean of nescience cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called a Shudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and this conduct was not expected from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man, and for this purpose the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. This chapter instructs us in self realization by an analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul, as explained by the Supreme Authority, Lord Sri Krishna. This realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruitive results and is situated in the fixed conception of the real self.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So now Sanjay is telling Arjuna, seeing full of compassion, the Madhusudana, Krishna starts speaking. And very clearly, this material lamentation, crying, all these things are not the character of a soul. Okay, it's not in self-realized person will not do this. So here, saving the body is called saving the shirt of a person who is drowning in the water. There's a river, somebody is drowning in the water, and you go and save the shirt or a dress. We have to save the person. So same way, the spirit soul has to be saved. So that is very important. Than saving the dress, the material body is keep on changing, and anyway, everybody undergoes death. So because I'm working so heavily for the body, so we fixed in the conception of the real self, which is the body, which is the soul. So this chapter mainly covers the differentiation between body and the soul. Okay, next. Bhagwan is speaking, Krishna is speaking. Would you all like to repeat or what?
Yes, madam.
Yes.
Okay. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Sri
Shri
Bhagavan
Bhagavan Uvacha.
Kutastva kasmalam idam.
Kutasva
Kasmalamidam
Vishame samupastitam.
Vishame
Vishame
Samupastitam
Anarya Jushtam Asvargyam.
Anaryajushtam
Jushtam
Asvargyam
Asvargyam
Akirtikaram Arjuna.
Akirtikaram
Kirtikaram
Arjuna.
Arjuna.
Translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows value of life. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy. Read the purport.
Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are identical. Therefore, Lord Krishna is referred to as Bhagavan throughout the Gita. Bhagavan is the ultimate in absolute truth. Absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding, namely Brahman, or the impersonal or pervasive spirit, Paramatma, or the localized accept of Supreme within the heart of all living entities, and Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.11, this conception of the absolute truth is explained thus. Vadanti tat tattvavidas तत्त्वं ज्ञानम् अद्वयं ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवानेति शब्देते. The absolute truth is realized in the three phases of the understanding by the knower of the absolute truth, and all of them are identical. Those phases of absolute truth are expressed as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. These three divine can be explained by the example of sun, which is which also has three different aspects, namely the sun signs, the sun surface, and the sun planet itself. One who studies the sun signs only is the preliminary student. One who understands the sun surface is further advanced, and one who can enter into the sun planet is the highest. Ordinary students who are satisfied by simply understanding the sun signs, its universal pervasiveness, and the glaring effulgence of its impersonal nature may be compared to those who can realize only the Brahman feature of absolute truth. The student who has advanced still further can know the Sandix, which is compared to the knowledge of the Paramatma feature of the absolute truth. And the student who can enter into the heart of the sun planet is compared to those who realize the personal features of the supreme absolute truth. Therefore, the bhaktas or the transcendentalist who have realized the Bhagwan feature of the absolute truth are the topmost transcendentalists. Although all students who are engaged in the study of absolute truth are engaged in the same subject matter, the sun science, the sun disk, and the inner affair of the sun planet cannot be separated from one another, and yet the students of the three different phases are not in the same category.
That's it. Hare Krishna. So, very simple. Here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, first time this word is coming. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Till now, Sanjaya was only telling that Krishna spoke, Madhusudana spoke like that. Where Arjuna, look at the armies who has come to fight like that. But here, the Bhagavan Uvacha is coming first time. So, here Prabhupada is explaining what is Bhagavan means. So, Bhagavan and Krishna are identical. Then Paramatma, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, three aspects are explained by Srila Prabhupada. So, already we have seen this in detail. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti sabdhyate. So, this in Ishopanishad we saw Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, and also introduction to Bhagavad Gita, we saw that these three features are there, but still they are not, they are all emanating from the same Lord only. Paramatma is coming from the Bhagavan, and also the Brahman effulgence is also coming from Bhagavan, but still they are not identical. Sorry, means in their capacity they are not. Where did they go? They are not identical in their, 1 second. What is being shared right now? Okay. Quite big. Okay, read it. Further Bhagavan explanation.
The Sanskrit word Bhagavan is explained by the great authority Parashara Muni, the father of Vyasadeva, the supreme personality who possesses all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation is called Bhagavan. There are many persons who are very rich, very powerful, very beautiful, very famous, very learned, and very much detached. But no one can claim that he possesses all riches, all strength, etc. entirely. Only Krishna can claim this because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No living entity, including Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Narayana, can possess opulences as fully as Krishna. Therefore, it is concluded in the Brahma Samhita by Lord Brahma himself that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one is equal to or above him. He is the primeval Lord or Bhagavan, known as Govinda, and he is the supreme cause of all causes. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan, but Krishna is the supreme because none can excel him. He is the supreme person and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the primeval Lord, Govinda, and the cause of all causes. Brahma Samhita 5.1. In the Bhagavatam, also, there is a list of many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Krishna is described as the original personality of Godhead, from whom many incarnations and personalities of Godhead expand. Eta chamsya kala pumsa Krishnasthu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridyanti Yuge Yuge. All the lists of the incarnations of Godhead submitted herewith are either plenary expansions or parts of the plenary expansions of the Supreme Godhead. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Bhagavatam 1.3.28. Therefore, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, the source of both the Super Soul and the impersonal Brahman. In the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna's lamentation for his kinsmen is certainly unbecoming, and therefore Krishna expressed his surprise with the word Kuta, wherefrom. Such impurities were never expected from a person belonging to the civilized class of men known as Aryans. The word Aryan is applicable to persons who know the value of life and have a civilization based on spiritual realization. Persons who are led by the material conception of life do not know that the aim of life is realization of the absolute truth, Vishnu or Bhagavan, and they are captivated by the external features of the material world, and therefore they do not know what liberation is. Persons who have no knowledge of liberation from material bondage are called non-Aryans. Although Arjuna was a Kshatriya, he was deviating from his prescribed duties by declining to fight. This act of cowardice is described as befitting the non-Aryans. Such deviation from duty does not help one in the progress of spiritual life, nor does it even give one the opportunity to become famous in this world. Lord Krishna did not approve of the so-called compassion of Arjuna for his kinsmen.
Hare Krishna. So, very, very amazing. First, the word Bhagavan is explained in detail. Sunshine, sun rays, the sun globe itself, the sun planet itself. So these three are compared. After that, the word Bhagavan is described by Parasara Muni, 6 opulences of Krishna. It's also one of the important questions in the initiation interview, initiation question paper. How do you say that Krishna is Bhagavan? Who is Supreme Personality of Godhead? So Krishna, how? So the Bhagavan translation is there. So here, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan Idhi Sabdhyate is explained first. Brahman Paramatma Bhagavan with one analogy, that is the sun planet. And then here you can see the sun planet and others. This already we saw in Ishopanishad. And then next Parasara Muni is explaining that what is Bhagavan. Bhaga means Aishwarya. Van means the possessor. So rich, powerful, famous, learnt, wisdom and most detached. Even though he possesses all riches, everything is the owner. Third is given as Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Paramakrishna Satsiddhananda Vigraha. That is the third given to for the word Bhagavan explanation. How? He is Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes, Govinda, primeval Lord. So that is quoted. And again another sloka that Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Many people in India consider Krishna to be an incarnation of Narayana or Vishnu. So that is broken by this sloka. This is written by Vyasadeva Srimad Bhagavatam. That Swayam Bhagavan. Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. He is not avatar, he is avatari. All the incarnations come out of him. It is not that he is an incarnation, he came out of someone. No, there are other plenary portions like Mahavishnu and other Karanotaka Sai Vishnu Garb. They have a source. They have a source from which they became plenary portion. But Krishna doesn't have a source. Anadi. Anadi means there's no source for him. So it's very important to know that. So this is another verse. So Brahman Paramatma Bhagavan is given. Then Bhagavan's explanation by Vyasadev's father Parasara, 6 opulences. And then Brahma Samhita is given. After that, this Krishnastu Bhagavan, Swayam Bhagavan. So many incarnations come out of Krishna. So in Bhagavatam, there is a list of many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So ete chamsa kala pumsa means there is many kalas, many kala. Like I explained to you about Paurnami, the Purnima's moon and the small kalas. So Krishna, from Krishna comes many expansions and incarnations. But Krishna is the source. So that is 4 things which are explained. And after that, Arjuna's lamentation is condemned by Krishna. So what is the first thing which Krishna speaks to Arjuna is nothing but scolding him. In a friendly way, in an affectionate way, he is scolding. Anarya Jushtam, Kutastva, Kasmalamitam. Kasmalam means dirt, impurities. Where from this Kasmalam came to you? Kutastva. Vishame Samupastitam, Anarya Jushtam Masvargyam. You don't speak like a civilized Aryan. Cowardliness. Why you are cowardly suddenly becoming? So even as a Kshatriya is supposed to fight and just finish it off. So due to lagging of some important knowledge is what this is happening. So he's not acting civilized person. What is the difference? Who is civilized? Not well-dressed people, well-spoken, polished behavior. No. A civilization is a persons who have knowledge about the liberation. So here, very nice. The word Aryan is applicable to a person who knows the value of life and have a civilization based on spiritual realization. That is Arya. And who is Anarya? Anarya Jushtam Masvargyam. You're not talking about an Aryan. So who is the non-Aryan? Persons who have no knowledge of liberation from material bondage. It's called nowadays the whole world doesn't know, except in ISKCON society and the followers of Srila Prabhupada is spreading. And of course, some Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Everybody, nobody knows the knowledge of liberation from material bondage. So everybody is an Arya. So Arya means who knows that we need to get out. So persons who are led by the material conception of life, they don't have any realization. So that is explained. So first is Krishna scolding, that we should understand. That if you see the translation, Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, how have this impurity come upon you, Kasmalam? And they are not befitting to a man who knows the value of life. So Arya is translated by Prabhupada as a man who knows the value of life. So we already saw the difference between animal life and human life or civilized and uncivilized in Ishopanishad, that how an higher officer is given better facilities. Why? Because he has better responsibility. Same way, the human form of life is given better facilities because we need to go for self-realization. Okay. Now, our Krishna is continuing to talk. Let us kindly repeat. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 3. Klaibyam smagama partha. Naitattvai upapatyate. Shudram hridaya daurbalyam.
Hridaya Daurbalyam.
Yaktvotishtha parantapa.
Otishta Parantapa.
O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart. Arise, O chastiser of enemy. Read the purport.
Arjuna was addressed as the son of Pritha, who happened to be the sister of Krishna's father Vasudeva. Therefore, Arjuna had a blood relationship with Krishna. If the son of a Kshatriya declines to fight, he is a Kshatriya in name only. And if the son of a Brahmana acts impiously, he is a Brahmana in name only. Such Kshatriyas and Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their fathers. Therefore, Krishna did not want Arjuna to become an unworthy son of a Kshatriya. Arjuna was the most intimate friend of Krishna, and Krishna was directly guiding him on the chariot. But in spite of all these credits, if Arjuna abandoned the battle, he would be committing an infamous act. Therefore, Krishna said that such an attitude in Arjuna did not fit his personality. Arjuna might argue that he would give up the battle on the grounds of his magnanimous attitude for most respectable Bhishma and his relatives, but Krishna considered that sort of magnanimity mere weakness of heart. Such false magnanimity was not approved by any authority. Therefore, such magnanimity or so-called non-violence should be given up by persons like Arjuna under the direct guidance of Krishna.
Yeah, one is supposed to perform a service, they just need to go ahead and do it. And rather than hesitating and hesitating. So the confusion, hesitating. So, and moreover, Krishna is very close to Arjuna in relationship also. So, and Krishna is directly sitting, he's a Kshatriya, is supposed to perform. Other than that, he's friend of Krishna, and Krishna is in the chariot, he is guiding. But all these things are there, but still, he is committing some infamous act. I want to run away from our field. I don't, not out of fear, but out of consequence. He doesn't like the consequence. He doesn't want to act because he doesn't like the result. So this is not considered magnanimous. The normal people consider this to be magnanimous, but Krishna is considering this as weakness. Hridaya daurbalyam. This word is used by Krishna. Hridaya means heart. Daurbalyam means weakness. Shudram. Shudram hridaya daurbalyam. Like that. So this, where from this? You are behaving like this. So this is again scolding. These two he's telling, this doesn't fit you. Okay. Let us see this. Arjuna Uvacha, check text 4, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 4. Okay. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna
Vacha
Kadam Bhishmam Aham Sankhye.
Katham Bhishmam
Aham Sakhe
Dronam Cha Madhusudana.
Dronam
Madhusudana
Ishubi Pratiyotsyami.
Ishubi
Pujarha Arisudana.
Arisudana.
Translation: Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counteract with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? Read the puppet.
Respectable superiors like Bhishma, the grandfather, and Dronacharya, the teacher, are always worshipable. Even if they attack, they should not be counterattacked. It is general etiquette that superiors are not to be offered even a verbal fight. Even if they are sometimes harsh in behavior, they should not be harshly treated. Then, how is it possible for Arjuna to counterattack them? Would Krishna ever attack his own grandfather, Ugrasena, or his teacher, Sandipani Muni? These were some of the arguments offered by Arjuna to Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, here, again and again, Madhusudana is telling, because you killed the demon Madhu. So, killer of enemies, he's also telling. So, you are the killer of enemies and you are the killer of Madhu. You only kill your enemies, you don't kill your relatives. Or generally, here he is telling that, see, Arjuna is telling Anarya, he's scolding, where from this impurities came upon. It's not impurity, see, it's very natural, affectionate grandfather like Bhishma and very good guru like Dronacharya. Leave others. At least these two people, they are senior to me also. They are elders. How can I just kill them? Krishna would never attack. He is attacking only enemies, killer of the enemies and killer of the demon Madhu. So this is an argument which is posted by Arjuna to Krishna. But he is not arguing verbally, but he is submitting. He is submitting his heart to Krishna. Again, he is continuing. Arjuna is continuing. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 5. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan.
Gurun ahatva hi manubhavan.
श्रेयो भोक्तुं वैक्ष्यम् अपीह लोके
श्रेयो
Tam Vaisyam Aptaloke Apitaloke
हत्वार्थकामांस्तु गुरूनिहैव
Hatvartha Gurun Itaiva
भुञ्जीय भोगान् रुधिरप्रदिग्धान्
Bhujya Bhagavan Yudhira Pradiptan.
Translation. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Read the purport.
According to the spiritual codes, a teacher who engages in an abnormal action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the side of Duryodhana because of his financial assistance, although they should not have accepted such a position simply on financial consideration. Under the circumstances, they have lost the respectability of teacher, but Arjuna thinks that nevertheless they remain his superiors, and therefore to enjoy material profit after killing them would mean to enjoy spoil tainted with blood.
Yeah, it's so obvious. Hare Krishna. So here, according to scripture, the teacher who engages in bad action or has lost the sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. So there are certain circumstances given that the teacher can be abandoned. So these Bhishma and Drona were with the Duryodhana mainly for financial assistance. Bhishma was not for financial assistance. Drona was there for it because Drona wanted a bright future for his son. Because this Ashwatthama. Even though the Brahmanas, they generally teach, they don't rule, but this Dronacharya had a desire, my son has to rule, despite he's a Brahmana. The Brahmana is supposed to do his duty as a teacher. He's not supposed, but he had a desire. So because of this, he has to be a chamcha of Duryodhana and mainly financial assistance. So these qualities have come down because they supported wrongdoings. So there is nothing wrong in doing it, but still Arjuna feels that it's not good. Even if they are like that, we should not be like this. This is a basic sentiment which he is having. Okay. We'll read the text 6. Na chaidat vidam, sorry. Na chaidat vidamagaranyo gariyo.
Na
Now,
Kataranno Gariyo
Yadva jayame yadivano jayeyu.
Yadva Jayame Yadivano Jay
Yan eva hatvana jijiva jijivisamsamas.
Yatvana Jiji Samas
Te avastita pramuke dardarashtra.
Te Avastita Pramuke Rashtra
Translation. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we killed the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us in the battlefield. Read the purport.
Arjuna did not know whether he should fight and risk unnecessary violence, although fighting is the duty of the Kshatriyas, or whether he should refrain and live by begging. If he did not conquer the enemy, begging would be his only means of subsistence. Nor was there certainty of victory, because either side might emerge victorious. Even if victory awaited them, and their cause was justified. Still, if the sons of Dhritarashtra died in battle, it would be very difficult to live in their absence. Under the circumstances, that would be another kind of defeat for them. All these considerations by Arjuna definitely proved that not only was he a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. His desire to live by begging, although he was born in the royal household, is another sign of detachment. He was truly virtuous, as these qualities combined with this faith in the words of instruction of Sri Krishna, his spiritual master, indicate. It is concluded that Arjuna was quite fit for liberation. Unless the senses are controlled, there is no chances of elevation to the platform of knowledge. And without knowledge and devotion, there is no chance of liberation. Arjuna was competent in all these attributes over and above his enormous attributes in his material relationships.
Hare Krishna. So, the last thing which Arjuna is speaking, so nor do we know which is better. So whether conquering them or being conquered them. Okay, you win over me, I will defeat myself. He's ready to even submit to that. Or should he fight and defeat them? This is the confusion he has. And in case if I defeat them, I don't want to live any further. Still, I don't want to live. But they are ready. They are ready to fight. See, I'm ready to give even my life to them. So Arjuna is thinking now whether to, should he fight? Should he risk unnecessary violence? Even though it's a duty of Kshatriya, he is ready to even go and beg. That is the only way he can survive, because the Duryodhana is not ready to give anything to them. So they should live simply by begging. So in this way, he is very confused. But there are certain qualities of a student manifested in him, good qualities of a devotee is manifested in him, which qualifies him to be the receiver of Bhagavad Gita. So he's telling that if I kill, in case if I kill them, it will be very difficult for me to live in their absence. So all these considerations by Arjuna definitely proved that not only he was a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also highly enlightened and had complete control over his minds and senses. This is called Goswami. Goswami means a person who's clear, okay. So not that he is taken over by greed, he's taken over by lust, like that. He is not. He's very clear. And he's also ready to even beg, even though he was born in a royal family. That also is a sign of detachment. But we cannot say that he has full knowledge or whatever it is. Unless the senses are controlled, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. So first thing, sense control, and that will lead to platform of knowledge. Without knowledge, the devotion, there is no chance, there is no devotion and there is no chance of liberation. See, even though Prabhupada mentions like that, in many places, Prabhupada directly gives devotion. So Arjuna was competent in all these attributes. As a student, he was in a receptive mood. So that is very, very essential. Even when you're preaching, you have to preach to a person who is in the receptive mood. The Guru is giving the seed of devotion. Okay, to all of you during initiation. During the initiation, the spiritual master sows the seed of devotion within the heart of the disciple. This is a creeper, and the Guru is giving you how to take care of this devotional creeper called Bhakti Lata. So that is the speciality of initiation ceremony. When the initiation ceremony happens, the Bhakti Lata Bij is sowed in the heart by the spiritual master. Then every day by chanting 16 rounds, you're pouring water to this plant or the creeper. And by following 4 regulative principles, we are putting a fence around the creeper so that animals don't come and eat or destroy the plants, or weeds doesn't come. So we are very carefully guarding it by very carefully avoiding 10 offenses to the holy name. And also we are following the regulative principles. This is the 2 things primarily the spiritual master asks. So chanting 16 rounds, following 4 regulative principles, and will you assist me in Srila Prabhupada's, me fulfilling Srila Prabhupada's instructions. This is the Guru Maharaj's initiation oaths. So this is the way it has to happen. So this grows in the heart of a disciple. So not simply throw it away. So there is certain things the person should at least be eager. If a person is in a very argumentative mood and he already has decided, we know when we are talking to some people that they already decided to refuse us or refute us or argue with us. That is the mood in which they've already preset it. Whatever you say, they'll pick up a point to argue. It's better not to spend or throw that Bhakti Lata in street. We have to carefully sow the seed. That is why we have systems like Bhakti Vriksha, where we call people, and unless they come and sit in our courses or programs, where we give them some transcendental knowledge and take them further into devotional service. So we have a systematic way of doing it. But if we casually throw it here and there and here and there, then it is not unmanageable. Your seed, you're not taking care, you're not cultivating the seed. You're just throwing the seed. So that's not of much use, much. Okay. Some animal may come and eat the plant when the plant is very small. You may throw the seed. Okay, this I'll just throw, it will grow. Some animal may come and eat. But if it's cultivation, so there is a difference between just throwing the seed and cultivating. So here, that cultivation where it can happen, that seed can go into where the land is very, very favorable. So that favorable situation was Arjuna's situation is very, very favorable to receive knowledge. And even preaching when we do, we have to find favorable people and to them we need to preach, nourish them. Challenge, argue. So we are not in the process of knowledge for challenging and arguing, which generally the jnanis do it. The impersonalist and jnanis do it. But we cultivate Krishna consciousness. We really care for them in spiritual way. Okay. Okay, now we come to the epic sloka. Very, very essential sloka. I don't know whether it's a memory sloka or not, but I would like you to memorize it. It's quite a little big. So here Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. I'll tell the slow translation, then we can read. Now I am confused about my duty and I have lost all composure because of my surly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So here, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. It's very, very important even for us to be in this mood. So let us take this mood throughout the year, not only year, for lifelong. But to start with, we want to learn Bhagavad Gita very nicely. So this prayer is very, very essential. And on this Shankranti day, which is very auspicious day, we will pray to the Lord that in this mood, now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So this very wonderful thing. So we'll conclude today with this. So I'll read this, repeat the sloka. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 7. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava.
Pahata svabhava.
Pritchami tvam dharma sammuda cheta.
Pritchami tvam dharma sammuda.
Yashreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme.
Yasya nishchitam bruhi
Sishyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam.
Yasteham sadimam tvam prapannam.
So, Karpanya means Kripana. So, I have this Kripana dosha. Swabhava. I have got this character. So, I forgot what dharma sammuda cheta. I'm becoming blind of what is my dharma. So, I don't know exactly, Nishchitam, what to do, what not to do. So, I become your Sishya. So I surrender unto you and take shelter of you, and you instruct me. So now I'm confused about my duty, and I've lost all composure because of miserly weakness, karpanya, kripana. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Read the purport.
By nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. In every step, there is perplexity, and therefore it behoves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic knowledge therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must one must approach a spiritual master who is in the reciprocal succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexities but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purport of this verse. Who is who is the man in material perplexities? It is he who it is he who does not understand the problems of life. In the Brahad Aranyaka Upanishad 3.8.10, the perplexed man is described as follows. Yo va etad aksharam arge avidvas avidit vasma lokat praiti sa karpana. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human and who thus quits this world like the cats and dogs without understanding the signs of self realization. This human form of life is a most valuable asset for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there is a Brahmana or he who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. Ya etad aksharam gargi vidit vasmal lokat praiti sa brahmana. The Kripanas or miserly persons waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. in the material conception of life. One is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other members on the basis of skin disease. The Kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death, or the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals, who take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of his perplexities. Although he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, still on account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talks between the master and the disciple are serious, and now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself, and yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna's within and without, and one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so here is where Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna. So we all have perplexity, and in every step we have perplexity. We are really confused what to do, what not to do, and we are in the continuous fear of existence. So it's very, very important for one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give on proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. So every Vedic literature advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life. So many people are having troubles, they have problems, they are confused, and they want a solution. I mean, the very simple solution is given. You just need to approach a spiritual master, which happen without our desire. These perplexities of life, we don't want it. We want only happiness. But it is happening without our desire, it's happening. So if we have to get free from this, then we need to approach a bona fide spiritual master. And if you expect him to give materialistic advices, he won't give. So they are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without set by anyone. So we have so much trouble without anybody setting. Suddenly in a forest fire will come. Whom will you blame? Similarly, the world situation in such that automatically this complexities, perplexities are arising. We don't want the confusion, but it is happening. No one wants fire, but it is coming. So this verse which we sing for the spiritual master, samsara dava analita noka pranaya karunya gana ganatvam praptasya kalyana gunarna vashya vande guru sri charanarvindam. So the first samsara dava analita loka means the same what Prabhupada is mentioning here as the rain, the forest fire which is happening. And the Guru's mercy is like rain. Only rain can stop it. How many, if there is a forest fire, you can never bring a fire service van or something, pour water. How much water will you pour? But if there is a rain, then the forest fire is completely subdued. Same way, the troubles in our life, the perplexities, confusions in our lives, all those are vanquished. They are like forest fire. You cannot blame somebody. Oh, he set the fire, he set the fire. It just happens. And when it just happens, all the animals have to flee the forest. They are struggling for life. Only thing, a rain, if it comes, then it's saved. So same way, the spiritual master is like a rain. But it's not mentioned here, but Prabhupada in the lectures he is telling. So you can ask, okay, who is that man who is in the material perspective perplexities, who does not understand the problems of life? He thinks that, okay, everything is all right. So he does not take any effort to save the purpose of life or solve the problems of life. He is called as miserly or kripana. This word very important. Many places you will come across. Kripana. Kripana means conjuice, miserly. And he will just live that miserly life and die, like cats and dogs. They live only for acquiring food, eating, sleeping, acquiring food, eating, sleeping, acquiring food, eating, sleeping, acquiring food, eating, sleeping, acquiring, dead. And human who is putting himself in the same cycle is called kripana or miserly. So without understanding the science of self-realization. So karpanya dosha pahata swabhava. That's what he is starting. Karpanya. Karpanya dosha, it is called. So karpanya dosha means he is miserly. So we have to use this human form of life. It's very temporary. It's a short duration. We are able to see each other in this platform where we have the eyes, nose, everything. And we are able to see each other, we are able to perceive each other. And at one point of time, this movie will end. We'll close our eyes and that's it. We are withdrawn into another world and we won't be in touch with even any one of us. We cannot even meet each other. Just close the eye and you're gone, dying, withdrawn from this body. So this body has an environment, has a facility, has other people. We are seeing each other. All these things are for a temporary duration. And it will be withdrawn. One fine day, it will just close. So one has to utilize this human form of life. Therefore, one should, who does not utilize the opportunity is called a Kripana. So there is the opposite of Kripana is Brahmana. Brahmana's opposite is Kripana. The Brahmana is the one who's very intelligent enough to utilize the body to solve the problems of life. So Brahmana's opposite is Kripana. So the Kripana or the Maisali person wastes their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, and country. As I told you, dimension is open to you, your spirit soul. But you are given a body with the eyes, nose, and everything, output, input, devices to perceive the world of existence. And we are all spirit souls, God bodies, and in a simultaneous existence. We are all in the simultaneous existence. We are able to see each other. We are able to talk with each other, communicate with each other. A world of existence is open for us. And this shouldn't be misused. So, and we temporarily think the people around us are all our relatives. Once you open the eye and you see, okay, mommy, papa, like this, and then it continues with the big family. And then that's all. So Kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death. Oh, you don't go there, you don't sit there, you don't stand there. Now the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verges of death. This is the most comedy. Such family attachments can be found in even lower animals, the dogs and cats. Oh, how affectionate. Sometimes when the dog or cat or some animal is most affectionate to another animal, oh, human beings are not, is worse than animals. They are not showing affection. They are blamed for not having much. But so we can, being the animals take care of their children very nicely. So being intelligent, Arjuna could understand there is affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the cause of his confusion, perplexity. So he knows everything. So he is surrendering unto spiritual master. So this is what the purport of this, the main gist of this purport is nothing but one should approach a spiritual master, surrender and learn from him everything. He knows that the duty is waiting for him, but he has a miserly, karpanya dosha, miserly weakness. He could not discharge his duties. So he is therefore asking Arjuna, the Supreme, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. So what is the difference? What is the difference between so far he was talking and talking and talking? Krishna was sitting and simply smiling, not telling anything. But right now, that friendly mood is kept aside and he offers himself to Krishna as disciple. See, he wants to talk seriously. He doesn't want any joke. He's serious. So talks between master and disciple are serious. And now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. So here we should not misunderstand that Arjuna had Krishna as spiritual master. So I also will take Krishna only as spiritual master. No. For Arjuna, Krishna was just right in front of the eye and he acted as spiritual master. But for us, Krishna has sent a disciplic succession. So we should not misunderstand, thinking that, okay, I'll also accept like Arjuna directly Krishna. Some people tell when we take classes, they say that what is that? Krishnam Mande Jagadguru. Krishnam Mande Jagadguru. Krishna is Jagadguru. And he will guide me, he will talk to me, he will. You continuously lost touch with the spiritual world. How will you even talk? You're not able to see each other as spirit soul also. Then how will you talk to a supremely spiritual person, Krishna? So Krishna is sending spiritual master. So Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the disciple who is understanding Bhagavad Gita. So how Arjuna understood is also known here. As a friend and a devotee, he is revealed many secrets. But foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. They use words generally. The impersonalists especially, they are expert in confusing. So instead of telling that, Krishna is telling Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja, become surrendered unto me. And these people said that yes, which actually means, what does me mean? Me means the unborn within Krishna, you have to submit. Some blabbering. So there is no difference between Krishna within and without Krishna, Satsidananda, in and out. There is no difference between body and soul of Krishna. Only in material world we have this. So this is very, very important to understand that accepting a spiritual master is very, very important. So Prabhupada here very clearly says we have to get attached. Sorry, we have to take shelter of the spiritual master. And attachment to family member is called skin disease. One is often attached to family life basis of skin disease. The skin is temporary, it will be burnt. Or when your skin shrinks into small and become old, then all your children will leave you and go. That time you will know, even your wife will not be very pleasant. So then we will know, no, this is a waste of. Not because of that we are detaching, but we are not the body, we are spirit soul. We are just using this body in order to pursue the world. We should understand this. Okay. Jai Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So we somehow read the slokas which were spoken by Krishna in this auspicious day of Magara Shankranti. Thank you very much for being with me. Any questions or comments? There's in the chat box. Okay, this is memory sloka. Saurav Prabhu is telling this is memory sloka. So all of you memorize this sloka. Start today. We'll gradually in this chapter, I think 3-4 memory slokas are there. So be ready for it. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
So means Krishna speak first one line in 1.25, and also here two sloka he is quoting Arjun. So why we are not taking that word of Krishna, and we are only saying that Krishna is starting from speaking from here from verse 7.
No, verse 7 is Arjuna's surrender.
Oh yeah, means verse 7 means after that he so why we are not taking that into account?
No, there also Krishna is speaking. Second chapter, Krishna starts speaking, but he starts answering the questions. Means the deep subjects of continuous slokas happen there. The friendly talk. See, unless Arjuna surrenders, Krishna won't give the knowledge, no? Krishna is let all the spirit soul with the free will. Unless you surrender, he won't guide. So here he is just talking in the friendly way. There are 2 verses. We'll see this. 1 second. I'll show you translation. If you see here, instead of this, we can better go into just a second. If you see here, they are friendly talk. Prabhupada very clearly telling. Only 2 verses where he is telling, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy. O son of Pruta, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart. Arise, O chastiser of enemy. Get up and fight. Start. This is not fitting you, Arjuna. Suddenly you're telling you don't want to fight. The last sentence, if you see, Arjuna cast aside the bow and arrow and he said, I Krishna, Govinda, I won't fight. Again he is telling here. Govinda. So here, if you see here, please instruct me. I can find no means to drive away the grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to. So Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemy, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight. The 9th sloka. So here, O descendant of Bharata, at the time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words, the grief-stricken Arjuna. From here, big Upadesha. Casual talk is gone. No more casual talk. Now Upadesha, instructions, starts.
So above
That,
to, as for above to what Krishna said, that was friendly talk.
yeah, Prabhupada is mentioning, no? The Arjuna is surrendering here, and in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning, yeah. So here, he is therefore asking Lord Krishna. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, to make definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talks between the master and disciple are serious. And now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. So Krishna is therefore the spiritual master of science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding Gita. How Arjuna understood Bhagavad Gita is stated in Gita itself. So this is the one. So hereafter the Upadesha will start.
So Mataji, we are saying here Krishna is scolding Arjuna, so that's also look
Not scolding, not scolding. See, I'm scolding you now. In class, how can Akarshi can say that like that? Like that I'm telling you. This is not typically scolding. When they are friendly, they even when we go 10, 11 chapters, Arjuna will tell Krishna. I'm telling, hey Saketi, what is that? Hey Krishna, hey Saketi. I have made so many times comments and I have pulled your leg and I have passed comments on you and I have made like, what do you say, bullied you. But now I understand you're such a supreme personality of Godhead. My dear Krishna, please forgive me for all my friendly talks like Sakeva Sakyu, Putaras Put. When the father will forgive the son, or the friend will forgive the friend, or the mother will, the husband, the wife will forgive, the husband will forgive the wife. In this way, you just forgive me for my irrespectable talk. I spoke to you in a very irrespectable way. I bullied you so many times. And he's telling how he bullied also. Arjuna is telling to Krishna. So were very, very casual. But when the Vishwarupa and all were shown, then Arjuna immediately becomes surrendered and he's telling, please. And then Krishna comes back to his, please show your friendly two-handed form. Then Krishna comes back to the two-handed form and then shows the regular form to Arjuna. So Arjuna also asks forgiveness. I've been too much bullied you and all. But Krishna doesn't take it seriously because he wants friendliness. From spirit soul, he's expecting Vatsalya, he's expecting Sakya. So Sakya Baba is high class. Krishna likes it. So their relationship we cannot understand because we have never been friendly with God till today. We have never been, we have some friends and enemies, unknown people, but otherwise there is no genuine relationship we have developed ever, especially with the Supreme Lord, which is the most mandate. Some people develop excellent networking among human beings. But what is the connection with Krishna? Totally lost. What is the purpose of such relationship? So Krishna and Arjuna had a very, very friendly relationship, which is explained in the Bhagavad Gita introduction, that 5 types of, you have to revisit introduction. I think like college, when the exam finishes, one forgets everything. Same way you also, when the exam is finishing, you are forgetting everything. Then how will you become teacher? Look at this. Scolding means not scolding typically. So here, the starting after the slokas are over. Here, you remember? But briefly, it can be stated that a devotee is in relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in one of the 5 different ways. That is in an advanced stage. And Arjuna was in a relationship with Lord as a friend. Of course, there is a gulf of difference between friendship with this material world and spiritual world. This is transcendental friendship which cannot be had by everyone. I also gave you an example of Arjuna is ordering and Krishna is driving the chariot. So Arjuna says to Krishna, Krishna, take my chariot in between the armies. Let me see who has come to fight with me. And Krishna obeys the order and he takes the chariot. So can we see that here Arjuna is ordering Krishna like that? The spiritual material world is perverted reflection of spiritual world. So you should know what friendly talk means. Basically, it's a common sense to understand what friendly talk means. It's not typical scoldings. It's like bullying.
So actually, basically, my question is 2.2 and 2.3.
Not 2.2, 2.3, Baba. You should understand again and again. It's a continuation of Mahabharata. There are so many conversations between Krishna and Arjuna. So many conversations. Not only this two sloka. This Bhagavad Gita is not a separate book. Bhagavad Gita doesn't have chapters. Bhagavad Gita is a continuous conversation between Krishna and Arjuna in the war field, and before that, a setting of the scene by Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya, and then Duryodhana and everybody. And Mahabharata is continuing. Within the Mahabharata, 700 slokas alone are taken. Okay, it's not that in the life only Krishna and Arjuna spoke only 2 sentences and then many sentences, not like that. So the sloka itself is for the literary compilation by Vyasadeva. So there was no sloka number, there is no chapter number. It is simply a conversation between personalities called Krishna and Arjuna. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Arjuna now he acts as a friend and then as a disciple for some time. And they come again and again. They come again and again. Nara Narayana. Nara and Narayana. So Nara will be Arjuna, Narayana will be Krishna. They come again to do tapasya and fight with some Ashura, and they perform some pastimes and they give Upadesha. So that's Nara Narayana Rishi. The same Nara and Narayana, again Krishna and Arjuna. And then later, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramanandaraya. In this way, they come again and again as to deliver some message. As I told you, so they are it's a talk between two people, but Vyasadeva putting 2.1, 2.5, 2.75, 2.25, 2.45. Who bothers? So we are not here as a jnani pointing out and arguing. We are just talking what actually is the conversation going on. It's a continuous conversation. It's a continuous conversation. People don't, now you and me are talking. Now I'll tell that, okay, my first sentence is, and I'll talk to you. And then second sentence, I'm scolding you. And third sentence is, you are talking to me. And fourth, because it's a book, Vyasadeva has compiled like that. But actually in the war field, it was simply a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. And they are very close friends and cousins, and they will talk so many things. And in this, one of the talk is this. First, Arjuna is telling that I'll not fight Krishna. This family tradition will be destroyed, Krishna. Like we are talking in English. But they speak Sanskrit. So they were speaking in Sanskrit. Just because in the Sanskrit, you should not consider it like a mantra or tantra or something like that. It's a very casual conversation in a history epic of Mahabharata. There is nothing much to ask about it. It is just a casual conversation. And casual conversation became a serious conversation. That's all. Because Arjuna told to talk seriously, I surrender unto you. I accept you as my spiritual master. Now kindly address me as a spiritual master. What is right for me, what is not right for me, kindly guide me. Give me instructions. So he spoke some serious words. Then Krishna starts seriously giving him advice. That's all. This Dhritarashtra Uvacha is coming Before that, so many things Krishna and Arjuna has spoken from morning when they dressed up, when they got in the chariot. Are you ready? Let's go to the war field. Where should we position? And the previous day, they decided how the phalanx of army has to be there in the tent. And every day night, they go back to the tent after the war. And the war arrangement have been happening for many, many days. All those days, every day, Krishna and Arjuna has conversations. What is the big difficulty in understanding a casual conversation to people? Why do we need to take it like a Veda literature and argue on this? There is nothing to argue because it's a casual conversation. Like two personalities are speaking, that's all. Sloka number 5, 7 and all, why Bhagavad Gita, this is not required. We just need to understand what is being told, what is being spoken there. Not whether it is discussed in one sloka or 4 sloka, who bothers? If Prabhupada or Vyasadeva has combined 4 sloka together and put it as one, sometimes he does that. And we cannot ask why, because it is relevant, so they put it. And Sanskrit is not our mother tongue, no. In the earlier days, only Brahmanas go to school, only Brahmanas learn. But nowadays, all of us are going to school and learning only language. We are not learning scriptures. In those days, only Brahmanas learn. So it is all in Sanskrit. So it looks like sloka, but it is nothing but conversation. Like you and me are talking now. We are talking, right?
Yes, Mother.
Like, same like that. Same. Only difference is it's a very serious scenario. Very serious scenario. There is a war field and war and everything. So there was no sloka number there. There was no chapter number there. There was question and answer and question and answer. That's all. And when compiling it, Vyasadeva has given chapter numbers, chapter names. He has given sloka number. Where Sanjaya is speaking, that's also coming like that. Okay? Don't
Yes.
take it so seriously. Don't take it so seriously.
Yes.
Okay. If there are no more questions or comments, we'll wind up here. I just want to touch, I want to give revision of first chapter. But because today is Shankaranti, anyway, I thought let us have an auspicious beginning. So I started this chapter. Quickly we went through, but I think most of the things already we covered in Ishopanishad and introduction. So now when Krishna starts giving Upadesha and the questions which are asked by Arjuna, when they combine together, then it will be the main portion of Bhagavad Gita. Others are all like setting the scene kind of things. Okay. Now let's offer our obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are like desire trees, who can fulfill the desire of all the fallen and conditioned souls. And we'll, of course, offer obeisances to each of us, each other as well. And Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj, Acharya Parampara. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Namo
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaura Premanande.